We are back with some more McFarlane leaks. So far with McFarlane, we are batting pretty well. Been duped before, but never again. Never say never. We've got ourselves a good list of McFarlane figures rumored to be coming out. So let's see how many of those we're planning on getting. And I'm curious to know, listeners, which of these are you excited to get? So without any further ado, let's get into the list. So first up, this is all going to be the 7-inch scale. We don't have any superpowers, and I don't think there's anything digital. We'll see as we get through this, but I think this is all going to be 7-inch, either in the regular line or the collector editions. First one on the list is a DC Multiverse Cyborg, and this is from DC Rebirth. So we've seen a few different cyborgs. I think my favorite out of all of the cyborgs he's done is the Build-A-Figure. I don't have it, but that's just my favorite look. So again, don't know how many people are jonesing for more cyborgs. I think they're probably wanting more of the Teen Titans look, which maybe will come eventually.
Yeah,
but
like the 80s look, you mean?
Right.
Or like the classic? Yeah.
Yeah.
Next on our list, Dakota, we have a Commander Steel from the JSA, and that will be a gold label. Personally, I'm not super familiar with the character, so it doesn't feel like a need to pick up for me.
Yeah.
But I think people always like when they're rounding out those JSA guys.
True. I mean, this to me feels a little bit more like it would make sense in the collector edition, because it seems like he's doing a lot more of those classic type looks in that line. But I don't know. I think he maybe showed up in Justice League Unlimited once, but it's kind of one of those characters that I don't think I've ever read a single story with. He just kind of looks like one of those old-timey superheroes, which I don't know, maybe I'm just a little too young for him. All you old dudes out there, you'll probably be excited though. Next, going from back in the day to modern, we've got a DC Multiverse Red Hood, and it's just designated as modern. So I would assume this is more the Red Hood gang, I would think, because I would think that's the only Red Hood that there would be like a, older version of. I think all of the Jason Todd Red Hood stuff would be considered in the modern realm. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Yeah, and he's done quite a few Red Hoods, so
Right.
I'm not sure exactly which distinct look, if he has a modern one that sets it real apart from everything else.
Yeah, because I feel like, isn't there a collector edition one that we have leaked also? Because I was thinking of the
Yes,
one that
I think so.
comes down, like covers your nose with the like tall mask, but I don't know.
Right.
Time will tell.
Well, if you need to build out that Red Hood army, you're in luck. So snag that one too. And then we've also got a Sinestro, which I know people always like Sinestro, and yet this one, it says, is with the Parallax armor. So again, still not quite that classic look that I think a lot of people would go for, the old blue suit. I'm assuming this Parallax armor, I feel like, would be more the yellow look, right?
I would think so.
When he has like the armor. I'm trying to remember specifically.
I mean, I don't know exactly what the look is. I'll put some pictures up on screen, but I would assume the cheap way to do this would be to take that Green Lantern that kind of comes with that like construct armor, and then just make it yellow and be like, oh, there's the Sinestro armor for him. So
right.
I think it would. Todd usually does a little bit better than that, but that would be where I put my like low expectations for it, and then I hope that he's going to do even better. But man, that's just me.
Yeah.
And we can never do these leaks lists without a Batman, and I will hit you with two Batmans right off the bat. We're going to have a Batman, and this is from Superman World's Finest, and then we're also going to have a Dick Grayson as Batman. So I know back when we were younger reading those comics, you really liked the Dick Grayson as Batman storylines, right?
Yeah, I did. I think that would be a cool look, and I feel like we maybe had read or heard about this somewhere. But yeah, I really like the Grant Morrison storyline where he becomes Batman. And it's not necessarily like a super different look. I mean, it was more to me, more of like the way the art style was. But I don't think like you'd look at it and say, like when Bucky was Cap, he had a totally different suit. I guess it was kind of different, but it's
Right.
relatively traditional Batman costume. Still cool though, I
Mm-hmm.
think, depending on how they stylize it, maybe. And if you think there's not enough Batmans in this leak, well, you're in luck because you're going to get another one. And this one is going to be a collector edition, and that will be Batman from The Dark Knight Returns, Battle Damage. So I know we've gotten it feels like so many versions of The Dark Knight Returns Batman, I feel. But I guess I forgot there's maybe one we haven't gotten. So I'm thinking of that look. I don't know if you remember this panel where like he gets shot in the chest, so it's like his bat logo is like exposed for the
Mm-hmm.
Kevlar. That's always what I envisioned from that series as far as like battle damage. Um, I mean, I guess maybe when he's in the like battle suit, he gets beat up.
But he's already
I
had
guess
that
it
one.
could go that way. And that's beat up.
Well, I guess not beat up, but I think there was the 2-pack that was a blue armor that came with Superman, I think.
Yeah, I really hope it's. I feel like he's made so many versions of that. I think the one that would be kind of cool because that's a relatively popular image is the one where he's like jumping and
Right.
the chest and that stuff. So that's what I would envision for that. Um, I don't think I need any more Dark Knight Returns figures.
No.
But there's that for you if you'd like.
Sticking with the Bat family, next up, we've got a collector edition Huntress. Now, this is one that I feel like is in a lot of people's arguments of like, oh, I can't believe that, Mafex is doing this figure before we get bop, 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 bop from McFarlane. And usually Huntress is on that list. So I think that's probably a lot of people are going to be excited to get that as a collector edition. I would assume going to come with a little bit more accessories. Maybe, usually that's hands and stuff. I would hope she obviously comes with her little crossbow, maybe a bow staff, wired cape, maybe, probably. So,
Yeah, he has been doing a lot more though. Do you think this would just be more the classic look you think of when you think of Huntress, or there
yeah,
gonna be some slight modern twist
I
or
would think, well, it's
something?
a collector edition, so it makes me think maybe this could be like an old
Yeah,
version, but also I could see it being some sort of like mashup of a classic and maybe like the Hush version.
right.
So I would expect some sort of in
But
between.
but a lot of those collector editions, well, I guess not always can get the platinum,
True.
and it's somewhat different too. So
Yeah.
you never know. But either way, I think people will be happy to get a Huntress because I agree. People
hmm
always seem to be asking for a version of her.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good move. We'll also be getting a collector edition Green Lantern. It says Green Lantern Corps on that. How do you interpret that designation, Dakota?
I would assume Hal Jordan, but also we've already had a Hal Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
I think, in the collector editions. So then it makes me
Mm-hmm.
lean more towards John Stewart. I would think it would be one of those two. I don't think it's going to be another Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Rayner. I don't think it's going to be
Right.
a Guy Gardner because I think it would be specifically named Guy Gardner.
Mm-hmm. I just wonder why it says Green Lantern Corps. Is that saying from a specific
Probably a specific
book?
book, but
Okay.
then it's like, I mean, I'll put images up if I can find it, but I feel like if I Google Green
Mm-hmm.
Lantern Corps, it's just going to show me just a ton of Green Lanterns. So
Right.
we'll see if I found any good picks. The next collector edition, I think this is one that people are going to be maybe the most excited for. I think, at least in the comments of
Mm-hmm.
this, when I saw this posted, there's a lot of people excited about Jonah Hex and the General.
Mm-hmm.
So Jonah Hex is a pretty cool character. I haven't read a ton with him in it, but I remember him being in the cartoons. And then the
Mm-hmm.
General is his horse. So this is going to be our
Right.
first collector edition 2-pack type of thing. So they've
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
done, I don't think they've done a 2-pack with like a horse before. The horse was a Build-A-Figure in the Dark Knight Returns stuff. So I would assume it's just going to be
Mm-hmm.
a new color on that same horse. He wouldn't retool a
Yeah.
horse, I wouldn't think. So
No.
you're going to get that. And then,
I think people will want Jonah Hex though. That's for
right.
sure. Yeah.
And I think it does make sense because if you got Jonah Hex, you would probably want to pose him on a horse. There are going to be a lot of people, I think, that do want just him and they don't want to pay for,
Mm-hmm.
because I would assume this is going to be at least $50, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think $50 is like maybe on the low end, depending on how they're pricing it. Because I
Yeah.
know with Mythic Legions, they would price the horses even higher than that. But this is also a
Mm-hmm.
McFarlane horse, so cheaper. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, he did do the 2-pack with Gunslinger Spawn, though. So that one, I would assume, would be
Yeah, that's
similar to
true.
that. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That looked good.
Good call. And then we are getting into some vehicles, Dakota. And the first one will be the Joker Dragon. And this is from, I'm thinking, is it that Dark Knight's Metal
Yeah.
storyline, I believe? I thought we already had seen the Joker Dragon.
Well, we
Am I
did, but
mistaken?
this one is glow in the dark. So yes, but
Oh no, that
same
sucks.
thing. But
Oh, that's great. Oh, well, it's okay. Oh, glow in the dark. You're right. Jeez. Okay. Well, I'll say this is a little comic tangent. I tried to get into the Dark Knight's Metal stuff, dude. I really did, and I read the main first story. And I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it personally. But I mean, Joker is a dragon. That's definitely unique.
that
So
is, I mean, that last one was going for like way clearance, wasn't it? Like I thought people were picking
yeah,
that
I
up for
thought I
like
didn't say.
$7.
Yeah, I don't remember that one being a hot seller. So
Right.
such is life,
Yeah.
I guess. But the next one I'm a little more interested in, Dakota, and that is going to be a Batman Forever Batmobile. However, this is what gets me. Going to come with Alfred.
Yeah. I think, like I'm sure you already are. I think a lot of people are going to be a little upset that they got to buy an entire Batmobile to
Mm-hmm.
get their Alfred. And I could 100% see Todd saying like, "Oh, nobody wants to buy a Butler, so like this is going to be your only shot to get
Mm-hmm.
Alfred is with a vehicle." I just don't see a single release Alfred, but at the same time, he's already got the figure.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you're going to get it like Jokerized or glow in the dark Alfred or sketch version Alfred or, you know,
Right. Yeah, that
I don't
makes
know.
sense. I have the DC. I always forget which line it was. Whichever one before Todd.
I think that was still DC Multiverse. It was just Mattel. But then there was also DC
Okay.
Direct.
Yeah.
So, but he
Yeah,
has
not that
Direct
one.
too. So,
I have the Alfred, I think, from the Mattel one, which actually is pretty cool. Because he's got a couple different head sculpts, which is nice. You don't really need Alfred super articulated.
yeah.
And I personally, the main look for me that I like from the movies is, of course, the '89 Batmobile, which I have and I'm happy with.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool though that they're doing the Forever one as well, and just he's really hitting it with the Batmobiles. I
Yeah.
feel.
You're not going to get this one. You're not going to just kind of round out your classic movie Batmobiles.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, I
Don't you
guess if
need
I
that
got him,
Alfred?
I don't really need that Bat. I feel like it works with the one that I have right
Yeah.
now. I
True.
think,
Okay.
but we'll see. We'll see. Because I just don't. I definitely don't need that Batmobile. So I guess maybe I could get him and sell the Batmobile if people are wanting that. But
Well, Jordan, if you didn't want
we'll see.
Alfred with your Batmobile and you didn't want to have to buy a 2-pack, you could buy the DC Multiverse Batman Forever glow in the dark version of the Batmobile. That seems odd and goofy to me. I don't know what's going to glow on it, but maybe it's going to be Jokerized or so. I don't know. That one doesn't make as much sense to me. But that does wrap up
Yeah.
all of our leaks. Is there anything from this list that you're tempted to pick up?
I mean, the one that interests me the most for sure is Alfred, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But, complicated feelings there. I'd like to see what they do with the Dick Grayson Batman.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious about what that Green Lantern is because I didn't love the look of that last Hal Jordan Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine he's just doing a Hal Jordan. So those are probably the three that I would most be interested to see what he comes up with.
I'm surprised you're not
What
more
about you?
excited about Jonah Hex. Thought he would have been up your alley.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
he's probably the highest on the list for me, but
yeah.
Again, I don't know that I need to take up that much space in my collection. So I probably will pass on all of these, but it would be very hard to pass up a sale on Jonah Hex with his horse. But let us know down in the comments what you all are excited for from this leaks list. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and until next time, stay strong.